Everyone's in their uniform.
Hey, who's from Leesburg?
And it actually goes through Miller Hall, and the meter pit is out of...
Good evening, everyone. At this time, I would like to call to order the July 19th meeting of Gahanna City Council. Let me adjust my mic. This has been a while. Would ask for the invocation and pledge by Mrs. McGregor, and we will continue from there.
Father God, we ask your blessing upon our meeting as we decide the issues for the city of Gahanna. We ask for your blessings and protection for the men and women of our police and armed forces. Amen. For the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Angelou? Here. Bowers? Lyric?
Here.
Leesburg?
Here.
McGregor?
Here.
Brenner?
Here.
Schnetzer?
Here. And are there any additions or corrections to the agenda this evening? And hearing of visitors, do we have any visitor slips?
None were turned in to me.
And Madam Mayor, I believe you have a commendation?
I do, actually. I'm going to invite our Chief of Police, Chief Spence.
Chief, welcome.
All righty. This is a first in front. All righty. Can we hear each other?
Yep.
All right. Hey, thank you, everybody. We have actually two presentations, actually. One is an introduction, one is a presentation. I'd like to ask Mark Brown to come forward, please. Mayor, if you come on down, please. I'm sorry. Director. No. This is a unique opportunity for us to present a certificate of appreciation to Mark Brown. Mark is a resident of Reynoldsburg, and but he's a frequent visitor many times a week to Gahanna, to Creekside, to the many businesses in our community. And, you know, it's not often that unfortunately, we get people that report crimes, but they don't, sometimes don't provide us a lot of information. Mr. Brown was at the Stone Ridge Complex on June 16th of this year, and he witnessed an incident of a man forcing his way into a vehicle that was occupied by a woman who was trying to escape. Immediately sensing the severity of the altercation, Mr. Brown captured pictures with his cell phone of the involved vehicles, license plates, as well as the suspect getting into the car. Mr. Brown continued to stay on the phone with our dispatchers to provide updates related to the altercation and went out of his way, and when I say went out of his way, to create a very detailed statement, including maps, photographs, and almost time-stamped down to the second of this incident, involving a victim of domestic violence and kidnapping, and somebody who, without Mr. Brown's detailed statement, really minimizing a very traumatic victim, retelling her story, and subsequently having to retell the story in court due to Mr. Brown's help in this case. But he provided maps, photos, timestamps. Due to his quick actions and his updates, the suspect was later apprehended and charged with kidnapping, aggravated menacing, and domestic violence. The actions of Mr. Brown are worthy of recognition and award. And again, we would like to present a certificate of appreciation to Mark Brown. And on behalf of the entire division, the men and women of the department, we'd like to present you a challenge coin on behalf of the department as well. So with that, Mr. Brown, I really appreciate everything you did for us, everything you did for that victim. Your actions really speak to your character, and we thank you very much. Oh, don't go anywhere, Mayor. Director, don't go anywhere. The next is really a recognition. We've been before this body multiple times, not only during the budget, but also presenting constant changes to our police officer hiring process. Last year, when probably we had some of the darkest moments in the police profession, we initiated another hiring process. And through that came two applicants. They went through the entire process. They entered the 135th CPD Training Academy in December. And just this past Friday, they graduated. So I'd like to have Officer Brenda Johnson, badge number 174, and Officer Doug Reisinger, badge number 175, come on up. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to both Officer Johnson and Officer Reisinger, which they've distinguished themselves throughout their academy training. Their recognition from their classmates, from their trainers, and from everybody that interacted with them said they were the best of the best. And with that, I'm going to introduce Brenda Johnson, badge number 174. She graduated from Bell Fountain High School. Did I say that correctly? Bell Fountain? Okay. She is a 2020 graduate of Tiffin University with a master's in Justice Administration. During that great time at Tiffin University, and a lot of great things come from Tiffin, me included.
He's going to work that in.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Go Dragons.
Through that, she was an two-time All-American in shot put, and she was also fourth in Division II in the NCAA in the entire country in Division II in shot put. Again, another standout in the academy. I'm going to tell a quick story that probably is going to land flat here at the end, but I'm also going to introduce Doug Reisinger. He's badge number 175. He's a graduate of St. Francis de Sales High School. He's a 2008 Indiana University graduate. Unfortunately, he went across state lines and was not an Ohio State graduate.
He
But
was in Michigan.
that's neither here nor there. He graduated with a degree in criminal justice and also a minor in sociology. During that time, he played soccer for the University of Indiana, a member of the 2004 national championship team. Keeping with the excellent soccer reputation for the city of Gahanna, Doug also played with the Columbus Crew. And finally, he is an amateur national kickboxing champion. So with that, a quick anecdote. You know, one of the things that we really stress is de-escalation techniques, dealing with people in crisis, also dealing with people that are in heightened states of emotion. Sergeant Barker, one of the training academy staff, not known for his sunny disposition at all. During the course of training just a few weeks ago, Brenda was the first recruit to ever, and I say ever, hug Sergeant Barker. So with that de-escalation, you know, not to throw gasoline on the fire, but Doug Reisinger asked Sergeant Suber, who's also the lead sergeant with the academy class, if that was really a good idea. And what happened was, well, let's see how that plays out. During that, I understand that it's the first time that Sergeant Barker ever in his police career has smiled. And since then, he has given out 3 more hugs. So with that, both Doug and Brenda are well on their way to de-escalation training with the Division of Police. They're going to enter our field training program. It's 4 months long, just as intense as the last 7 months of their academy. And we are blessed to have them, and we thank council for their work in bringing them to the city of Gahanna. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Director of Public Safety Keith Wynn and Mayor Jadwin.
Council, just to let you know, a couple years ago, we talked about diversity within the workforce and making changes throughout the organization. So at that time, we mentioned we strive for a workforce that can contribute to a mix of skills, knowledge, and abilities, as well as ideals and creativity in order to support our city. Our goal is to develop a workforce strategy that focuses on recruiting, retaining, and promoting individuals, the best talent available, as well as reflecting the community. So we see Officer Johnson, Officer Reisinger, individual characteristics make them unique in who they are and what they bring to the organization and our community. Their life experiences, training, willingness to serve the community has clearly shown and made a difference so far through their life and their experience at the academy, and we look forward to the same thing here in Columbus. So welcome. Thank you. We look forward to the positive things. No hugs needed, so we're good. Mayor?
I will be brief in my comments. It doesn't seem like that long ago, then I think we stood in the fire station across the street when I had the honor of administering the oath of office to these very fine individuals. I knew when I met them at that time that they were very special, and I think that what they have demonstrated throughout the academy has proven that to be correct. And it's fitting today that we welcome them on their first day with the Gahanna Division of Police, their first official day as officers, here in our council chambers. And council, I'd like to thank you for your support of funding that we are able to add officers like this to our Division of Police, that they will continue to serve and protect our community. I also had the honor of attending their graduation on Friday, and I will tell you there is nothing quite so stirring as watching a stage full of young adults taking the pledge to protect and serve their community with their own lives at peril to themselves. It is quite a moving experience, and I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to be there. I know that they will serve our Gahanna community just as well as they perform during the academy, and I'd like to welcome them not only to the Gahanna Division of Police, but to our Gahanna community and to our Gahanna family. Congratulations.
Any other items, Mayor?
Not for me right now, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And the consent agenda, is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Leesburg,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Schnetzer. Roll call?
Leesburg,
Yes.
Schnetzer,
Yes.
Lyric,
Yes.
McGregor,
Yes.
Brenner,
Yes.
Angelou.
Yes.
And we have item E, ordinances for second reading and adoption, ordinance 0041, 2021, an ordinance to amend Part 11 Planning and Zoning Code, Chapter 1153, General Commercial District, Section 1153.03, CC Community Commercial District of the codified ordinances of the City of Gahanna. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance
So moved.
0041? Moved by Mr. Schnetzer,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Leesburg. Any discussion? Roll call.
Schnetzer,
Yes.
Leesburg,
Yes.
Lyric,
Yes.
McGregor,
Yes.
Brenner,
Yes.
Angelou.
Yes.
Motion carries. Consent agenda carried earlier as well. I forgot to announce that. Let's see. Correspondence and actions, Madam Clerk
We have none.
and council.
Mr. President, I received a couple emails from some folks in town. I believe service folks are aware of it, but I guess Strausser paving, there's been some deficiencies, I guess, in some of the work. I think Grant and everybody has been made aware of that, but I've got a couple folks, Kevin Dangle sent some information, and then Ms. Hoffman also brought some information to our attention, so,
Yes.
okay.
Actually, it was part of my comments, so thank you. I know the street program is underway. So to the extent that the council receives any inquiries or questions from residents, please direct them
Okay.
to Jason Collins is the project administrator for that. John Moorhead also could be CC'd on that. As soon as we receive a concern, we will send a project inspector out there. They are out there monitoring the projects, but there's 3 of them, and they're rotating. So they're doing the best that they can. But we will note issues and address those with Strausser so they can go back and address and redress anything that needs to be handled.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other items from council? And representatives, the Community Improvement Corporation, Mr. Leesburg.
I believe we have a meeting tomorrow morning. Other than that, nothing to report at this time.
Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, Mrs. Angelou.
Thank you. The Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission has this month has no meetings, but I will be attending at the Boathouse at Confluence Park on Wednesday from 4:15 to 7. The Rapid 5, the Power of Parks and Waterways, local planners unveil designs to connect, and it's going to be quite something, and William Murdoch and Keith Myers will be leading that conversation. So that is something that's just coming up now. I was going to give it to you later, but I'll give it to you now. And hopefully, there will be a lot of, I'm sure there will be quite a few people there seeing all the things that are going to be happening with these things. So, and I told him that perhaps maybe we should go to Alaska next, but then, oh no, we're going to get that from you, aren't we? The Alaska.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. It's so nice to have almost all of our council members back because some of them were on vacation and going to Alaska. And where did you go, Mr.?
Depends on the trip, but I was in New Mexico for a couple weeks, and I was in Northeast Ohio for a
Yeah,
week. So.
and you know, that it was just sort of like that. And of course, we had Mr. Schnetzer who went to Michigan. Oh, do I need to say that? I guess not.
North.
Went north. So anyway, that's all I have for right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And Convention and Visitors Bureau, Mr. Leesburg.
Yeah, just a recap of some of the earlier comments. A third stage has been added to the Creekside Blues and Jazz Fest. You can see the lineup at www.creeksidebluesandjazz.com for updates on the bands and the schedules, lineups, those kind of things. I do know Soul Kitchen had been scheduled, or is scheduled, I'm sorry, on Friday night. They were Saturday afternoon, so that's a welcome change to move them on Friday night and get a good crowd down there. The summer edition of the Herbal Cocktail Trail has been released, right on cue, and it runs through September 30th. Visit Gahanna had space at the farmers market, and they'll continue to do that once a month through September. Midweek at the Creek down at Creekside happened for the first time on June 30th. There's been a couple bands the last couple weeks. So get down on, those are on Wednesdays, so go down and see the happenings down there. And the new website for Visit Gahanna, I believe, is up and running, so we can go look for that. And that's all I have.
Thank you. School Board, Mr. Schnetzer.
Nothing this evening, Mr. President. Thank you.
Official reports, Madam Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Last Wednesday was a great day in Gahanna. We joined the Columbus Metropolitan Library in the groundbreaking ceremony for the new Gahanna branch. I think there were more than 100 residents, community leaders in attendance for that. A lot of energy and great excitement, beyond the fact that it was one of the first gatherings we've had in public. To celebrate the groundbreaking of a project like that was truly monumental and a great step forward for our community. It was also wonderful to see so much city support. So Councilwoman Angelou, thank you very much for being there. Councilwoman Bowers was there as well. Many of our Gahanna City team was there, including Chief Spence and our members of our Division of Police. Our Parks and Recreation team were there. Our development team was there as well. And it was a great show of support. I don't need to tell you, I know all of you understand that this new branch represents a significant investment and commitment to our community. If you have not yet seen the renderings, they are available online and they are absolutely beautiful. Our Planning Commission approved the plans last week, so we're very excited to see that project move forward. We're extremely grateful to Columbus Metropolitan Library, the Gahanna branch that keeps that branch hopping and going, Patrick Lisinski, the CEO, the Board of Trustees of CML, and also to Don and Liesl Gorman, who made a significant financial contribution to enable that branch to happen. We were equally excited the next day, Thursday, the Senior Center reopened. I think the building missed all of our seniors. The building was filled. We had vendors there. Our Parks and Recreation team did a fantastic job of preparing for that opening. And at one point, the crowd got a little bit rowdy. They were throwing balloons in the air, and I had to tell the kids to settle down. But they were having a great time. They just enjoyed being in the room again together. And our Gahanna Division of Police also was on hand to engage with them and talk with them. So it was truly a great community effort to welcome them back. What else do I have? Updates are in the mayor's report was sent earlier today. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I will do my best to get back to you as timely as possible. You'll see we have a few additional staff members joining starting this week and next week. Tomorrow we will welcome Courtney Thrain, our Economic Development Manager. She is originally a native of Central Ohio, has moved back here from the Boston area where she really was a leader in small business development. So we will have her be focusing on small business programs, engaging with our Creekside District Alliance, our chamber, and helping to grow programs to support our small business community, which are at the heartbeat of our Gahanna economy. We also will welcome Christian Bracewell, who's going to join our team next Monday. Will be our third utility billing specialist and complete that team once again. They've been operating on a thin dime for several months in the midst of cart tagging, recycling, monthly billing transition, and a whole host of other things. That team has been holding down the fort, and they've been doing an incredible job. Donna Harper, we moved Jeannie Hersey over a little bit to help out there. So we will be fully staffed again in utility billing as of next Monday. And then finally, Jessica Harubi and Seth Meadows have accepted positions for dispatcher. We've been low on dispatchers, and we still have one vacancy left to fill. Positions or applications are still being accepted. You could get that on gahanna.gov under Find a Job. But Jessica and Seth will be joining our team in the coming weeks. They're going through a 4-month training process for the dispatcher position. So hopefully we can get that filled pretty soon as well and have that team complete. Our PD annual report is in the process of being completed. Somebody just hasn't finished her letter of introduction for the report. As soon as she gets that done, the report will be finalized, hopefully by the end of the month, which already is next week. And Councilman Leesburg already took my comments about the street program, so I have nothing further to say on that. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. And City Attorney? Mr. Maloney?
Yes, the only thing I would note since our last meeting is the Speedway Transportation had a case in federal court. It was dismissed by the judge as failing to state a claim. However, on the 30th day, they did file their appeal. So we are now going into the appeal stage.
Thank you. Council comment. Mrs. Angelou.
Thank you again. First of all, I would like to have condolences to the family of Steve Nye. He was one of the swim coordinators and with our things, and I just happened to see it. I don't know if it was something that was unexpected or not, but we certainly feel for the family. Much too soon, I think, for someone of his age. So we'll keep them in our prayers. I also want to give best wishes for a quick healing for former Commissioner Marilyn Brown, who has 2 broken bones in her legs, and surgery will be having done. I also happened to just find that one today, so I don't think she's going to be coming with me next week to visit the Morpsey, reimagining what our particular building could look like. So we'll have to do that after she gets better. And then as a personal request, if you could keep my nephew in your thoughts and prayers, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Leesburg.
Yeah, the only thing I've got tonight, and again, don't ask me about girls wrestling because, 2-3 hours later I'll let you go, but I wanted to give a shout out to 20 young ladies who went out to Fargo, North Dakota to wrestle in a national tournament. The Ohio girls national team, after they qualified at a tournament, they practiced for a couple months and then they all bust out last Wednesday. We had there were 20 girls total in the 16U group, and 4 of them are now All-Americans. We had a first place champion. It's the 4th one we've had in Ohio. We had a 3rd place, a 4th place, and a 6th place. So great things happening in Ohio on that front. And some of our junior girls, that's the older girls, seniors in high school and college girls, are practicing today and competing tomorrow. So if you like the sport, there's some really good competition. So that was pretty exciting. Chief, I saw something about that I want to give a shout out for, a self-defense class. I believe it's taking place this weekend or something geared towards teens. Is that right? Sorry, put you on the spot.
Yes, sir. We have a few self-defense classes, and I believe the teen one is this weekend.
Okay.
We did one last weekend as well.
Yep.
So we've got some more of those coming up, as well as we'll be rolling out the next Citizen Police Academy.
I thought I saw that also. I know Mr. Lyric and I did that. Well worth the time. It's great information, and would highly encourage folks to do that. So, thank you.
Mr. Renner.
Thank you. Yes, as Ms. Angelou had recognized, I spent 10 fun-filled days in the state of Alaska, in the land of the midnight sun, and saw temperatures never above 65 degrees. And now I'm trying to get acclimated back to Ohio humidity and temperatures. Which reminds me, now that we are getting to escalated temperatures, it's time to think about when we're parking our cars, and if you have a pet in the car, I really frown on that, but if you do, please roll the windows down somewhat and be aware that the inside of a car can get rapidly up to 130 degrees or even higher. So please be aware, especially if you're carrying infants. Don't forget about them as well. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Schnetzer.
Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Ms. McGregor.
It's not exactly city-related, but I'm a member of the Gahanna Historical Society, and I look after the Lily Stone Bed and Breakfast. And Lily Stone, the Stone family owned that house from the beginning, and the house dates about 1900 to 1910. Her husband was a mayor when they had part-time mayors for a couple of years, and the Historical Society bought it, I think, in the 1980s. But anyway, I had a phone call from a lady who is the great-granddaughter of Lily Stone, and she lives in MacArthur, Ohio, and she described the house perfectly. She called and said, I remember this and this, and she's going to come up on Wednesday and be at the bed and breakfast and see the house, and then we're going to try to see if we can record some of her memories of her grandmother or her great-grandmother, and what history we can glean from her about the house and about her time in Gahanna. And so that just happened today, so it's kind of exciting to learn about the house that we take so much care of. That's all, thanks.
Let's see, a couple of things. Thank you. So it seems like it's been forever since we've been in here. Exceptionally glad to be back. It feels like it should be Would ask anyone to attend these meetings. While sometimes they may be dry, this is where business gets done. This is where the city functions with regard to any legislative action that occurs in the city. Apologies for being out, but sometimes family life does occur, and I almost said have to occur, but we want it to occur. I had the pleasure of spending 2 weeks outside of Cimarron, New Mexico at Philmont Scout Ranch with my son and 5 other now young men. 2 weeks in the backcountry, official mileage was about 65. Actual mileage was probably closer to 100 in a 12-day trek in the backcountry with these boys carrying everything on their backs. New experience for them, and certainly to watch them survive the endless rain, which was essentially unheard of for that time of year in New Mexico. The vast majority of that trip was constant rain. And at the end of it, the last night that we had was in a stunning valley surrounded by mountains with a double rainbow going across the sky, seeing the Milky Way in a cloudless, fogless, smogless New Mexico sky. It was an absolute incredible way to end a long trip. I followed that with a couple of days back in the office and then another week at Boy Scout camp in Kensington, Ohio, which is in Northeast Ohio. The group that my son is involved in goes to Seven Ranges Scout Reservation outside of Kensington. They have a very strong program at that particular camp, and they've been going there for decades. And to watch 11-year-olds stumble in with their packs bigger than they are and go through the hikes in and the walks and become essentially independent it's just a wonderful transformation that occurs in an amazingly short period of time. And then we get back to the parking lot and it's all kind of for naught when mom shows up. But hey, as important as what we do here is, time with family is critical and as important as it can possibly be, certainly to me, especially when there are challenges to that. In addition, having been out, I was not aware of the passing of Mr. Nye. The time and effort that Steve put into swimming in general as a program and to saving the pools. In 2013 and 14, the pressures on funding operations of the pools were immense, and the time that many of us put in with Steve and with members of the community to find ways to fund and keep the pools open then and again as we struggled with budgeting in 2018-19. Just an incredible effort, and the contributions that Steve made to the swimming community in Gahanna is just endless. It's interesting that another individual, Peggy Auer, was extremely involved and was a resident, and she passed away a number of years ago as well at a young age. Again, it's sad that we're missing members of the community that just have been so incredibly active in the areas that their passions lie. They will be missed without question. That is all that I have for council comment. Would ask for a motion from council to go into executive session under authority of section 5.40A of council rules of procedure to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing. Is there a motion to go into executive session? I see a motion by Mr. Leesburg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Angelou. Is there any discussion? No discussion. Would ask for roll call.
Leesburg,
Yes.
Angelou,
Yes.
McGregor,
Yes.
Renner,
Yes.
Schnetzer,
Yes.
Lyric.
Yes. Motion carries. I don't believe there'll be any action coming out of this. Would ask council, I believe that is all that we need in this executive session. I don't expect it to be awfully long, but no guarantees. Thank you, and we'll go to the library.